Tēnā koutou e hoa mā. It is Creative Centre Fridays. So you can just kick back, relax for about maybe 40 minutes or half an hour, maybe less. And just as part of our commitment, my commitment to our community who follows is to provide some free and open ways to connect into how my program operates in Indigenuity. Resetting your money thermostat, resetting any of your deep-seated beliefs and your habits and your practices requires time. It involves discipline, hope, learning to park your grief, learning to put it aside in order to just keep moving and keep healing as you move through life. So on Fridays, I'm going to come on here and do something that I absolutely love to do. And that's creativity, just making things. Sometimes it's with wood, sometimes it's drawing or doodling, sometimes it's with material, sewing. And it's in this space that somebody's going to walk in behind me soon. I'm on my camera. Can you go around? It's in this time, in this space, that I am able to force the world to give me a moment. Give me a moment, and I will gather my thoughts, and I'll get myself together, and I'll be able to make a good decision. After I've filled my cup, after I've held some space for myself, and after I've fed and nurtured energy going to another part of my brain, other than just staying in the back part of your brain, the brain that is flight or fright. You know, when you're stressed and you're chronically stressed, it gets really hard to make great rational decisions. And sometimes the best thing to do is just say, piss off, okay, end it all, finish, just give up for the day or give up for the moment. Just for the day and just for the moment, not the rest of life. And making space for creativity is how I do that. And so I've decided to schedule it into my social media. That's what we're going to do. You can watch, you can join in. You can give me ideas, whatever. Now, anybody who also thinks that you can't, this has got nothing to do with money or home ownership or properties or deals or finances. Well, maybe it doesn't for a lot of businesses. Maybe it doesn't for a lot of people, but for me, managing my finances and getting land and to lead from my mokopuna is a way of life for me. So it isn't just a job, it's a way of life, it's my vocation. And sharing it with as many people out there is also my vocation and a way of life. And so I come at it from a way of life perspective. I'm just sketching around a tote bag that I love, and I'm going to make one of these tote bags into the material that I have. I made this dress over the weekend or last week sometime, and I have some leftover material. So I'm just going to make myself a pattern. Because it's a way of life, I incorporate in my program a whole person approach to healing parts of ourselves that might be holding us back. Okay. And so, I'm good there. This is what I do regularly, because I get stuck regularly. Yeah. I am a person who is not all sorted all the time. I am often stuck. Regularly stuck in life. I regularly don't have the answers. I regularly overreact and don't have I don't always have the confidence. But I'll tell you what I do have. I have discipline. So what I'm showing you is part of my personal practice and discipline. I don't let people rush me, no matter what the decision, especially not financial ones. No one rushes me. Never. And I take months and years sometimes to answer someone. If I think something doesn't align with how I feel, these are financial decisions I'm talking about as well. So when I don't have the answers, I stop and do nothing. Doing nothing is an answer. Doing nothing is a legitimate strategy. Doing business, negotiations, managing money, dealing with your problems, doing nothing is a legitimate strategy and approach, and it's a legitimate answer. And it works for me. And I'm as qualified as any of them out there to give property advice. I've got the qualifications, I've got the experience. But I just got sick of approaching this kind of service, my valuations and my jobs and stuff, and approaching it where I had to leave me, who I am, at the door, and then somehow come to work or build a business on having the answers devoid of who I am. So I don't do that no more. I haven't done it in a while. And I'm encouraging you as people on this journey, whether it's to be on your Māori land or whenua Māori, or to create wealth, or to just stop having money stress, or to buy your first home, I'm encouraging you to use your whole self as a client. Don't just deal with your bank account. Don't just deal with your because the answer isn't in just managing your bank account. And the answer isn't just in managing your valuation or getting a bank to approve your home loan. No, it isn't. That is not where the answer is. The answer or the problem often lies in between those spaces. So in between your bank account and your job, or in between your job and your belief in yourself, or in between your job and your bank account. What's going on there? Where's the money in the bank? The money's here, or the money's not there because you've spent it, and the money's you've spent all this time at work. The answer's often in between. How stressed are you? How often are you stressed? How intensely are you stressed? What kind of loss are you dealing with at the moment? What are your methods of soothing your feelings of loss? Yeah. How much quiet time do you have? I notice a lot of people have a lot of noise around them all the time. I like noise. Do you? Your body might not like noise. You can have things going on in here, and you can have things going on in your body. They can be separate, because through the process of schooling and employment, we've often been taught how to disconnect the two of them. Disconnect your heart, disconnect your well-being, and disconnect your feelings from your head, so that we spend all day long sitting in our head and thinking and using it and being a machine and a tool for your employer or for your school. Poet. What I'm asking you to do is actually to bring them back together. Because you can make better decisions by being a whole self, a whole person, rather than just a head and just a financial entity and just a bank or a number, bank account. Tell you what else happens. For me, the more I do for myself like this, and the less available I am, pushes up my value, my rate per hour, because I have less hours to give. It's harder to get me because I'm busy. It's a very simple, foundational economic principle, everybody. Supply and demand. If you are always available, people value you less. People value your time less, not you, but your time less. So I do it. I have part of my pattern done. Just So, I'm making myself a tote, a matching tote. This one's by David Shepherd from Hawaii. I've got a matching outfit to go with it, and I love matching everything. So I'm going to make me a matching tote. So if you've ever asked yourself or enrolled on my programs because you're thinking to yourself, awesome, Inez is going to teach me how to reset my money thermostat so that I can experience wealth in a 5-figure bank account. Yes. I can teach you the methodology. I can teach you the steps and give you lots of answers. But it's the discipline, the behavioral disciplines that are important, that hold you there. That hold you in that place of success and prosperity and abundance. What are those behaviors? What are those disciplines? What is the mindset? I'm not the person to follow if you want to participate in grind culture. Let me write that here. See you, Jess. See you after mahi. So the reason you won't find grind culture promoted here with me or any of my programs is because mine is an Indigenous approach, Māori approach. Well, it's a my Māori approach, but it's taking into consideration the backstory that we have in regards to our financial situation, our home ownership situation, our economic situation as Māori people, Indigenous people, is not the same as someone who isn't. It's just not the same. My clients are often wanting to get into home ownership because we want to connect back to whenua. There's that relationship to land is just different to just an economic entity. So when I'm being a consultant or a valuer or a coach, I also can't just approach it in a way that is just one-dimensional dealing with the money. the answers are often, or the problems often rooted in disconnection to identity, language, expression, culture, feeling like you belong. Offloading the weight of problems that aren't ours. Our tupuna, grievances, just long enough that you can make decisions that help us move ahead. So you won't find me saying to people, do more work more, make more money. And I should know because my money and earning and my value and assets has gone up since I've learnt to work less and stop, gather my thoughts, gather my senses. Give myself time to reset. So join me on Fridays where I stop work, spend some time with you. And work on something. How do you like to reset and gather yourself? The other thing with being creative is stop trying to be perfect. I could use a ruler. Instead, I'm going to trust myself. what I'm doing is I'm giving myself like half an hour a week or something to learn and relearn how to trust myself, how to be a bit selfish, self-centered for a moment. It's not really selfish, it's just focusing on yourself. Nothing has to be perfect. I'm not sure where that came from, the kind of belief that everything has to be perfect. Stop it. Stop it, everybody. Stop trying to be perfect. It doesn't serve anybody. You know what watching too much news does? Too many news articles about what the economy is doing makes you doubt yourself. Makes you think, teaches you, or conditions us to think that there are no answers, that there are no solutions, that there are no houses to be able to that are affordable. Pull bullshit on that one. How come I always find them? It's because I'm looking for them, that's why. It's because I'm not trying to find the perfect opportunities. Don't stop trying to find perfect anything, man. Ever been to a financial advisor, to the bank, to an accountant, to a lawyer? Walked out feeling like you had even less answers? Well, I'm one of those people. I'm a valuer. I work with numbers all the time. And trends in the market and property. Get me telling you that that's what you should do and all you should do. Because we're working with a whole person. Yeah. Whole person approach. Draw on your wisdom from your life. Draw on the wisdom from your whānau. Draw on the wisdom from your body. If your body's uncomfortable with something, tap into that. Because in a property deal or a business deal or anything like that, your body often picks up on everything that is wrong with the situation before our brain does and our ears do. We've been trained to be compliant. So school systems or schooling is different to education. We all know that, yeah? I hope we do. Education happens in life. It happens outside of life. It happens from experience. Schooling is schooling. It's a place you go and then you're taught a system, a pattern of thinking and behaving and learning. It's not always education. It's not always good education, but it is schooling. So where I'm going with this is Don't let schooling, what came through school, high school, university and stuff, interfere with your education. And so some of my finest educators in money and my money thermostat were my aunties. I've got a couple of aunties who, did things like bought themselves their own home while they were on the benefit in the 1970s, or on a low income job, but would do things like pay the mortgage with most of the money, and then would plant potatoes in the front yard, and use dandelion as the vegetable for the kai table. And then over a very short period of time, pay that home off and then buy the house next door. And these are the kind of examples of wise women that I've leaned on who didn't have educations in money or property. They were cleaners and cooks, mothers. But that wisdom is an education, and they share their education. So lean on your education, on your wisdom of your people in your whānau, friends, and in yourself. That's where the education is. That's where wisdom is. So sure, come to people like me and lawyers and accountants for the finer tuning, or for the support and the coaching, but don't disregard your intuition and your whakapapa that tells you that you are supposed to be somewhere on this whenua as a homeowner, or as occupying your whenua Māori, or having your tiny house. That's your wisdom and that's your intuition, and tap into that to motivate you through. But tap in also to the discipline of making time to create space for yourself. So after this, I'll have just that little bit more energy and focus to come back to any of the things that I'm trying to work out that I can't, we can't get around. So the answer isn't in doing more work and doing more and being more stressed. It's not in that. Moving our bodies and creating, we're bringing back in the superpowers. And you're increasing your value on a monetary level. Because the less hours you have to give to people, the more valuable an hour is worth to them. So if you're a business person out there, that's my biggest tip. Stop giving your hours. It's the first way to increase your hourly rate. And I don't mean don't koha. I koha a lot. I'm always doing pro bono. But when it does come to doing business, the less hours you have available, the more valuable you are. So why? Keep being busy. We don't do perfectionism either. Just taking action little bits at a time. So today I'm not going to try and make a whole tote bag in one 40-minute session. But I'm going to be happy with the fact that I have created myself a pattern. I've created myself a framework for when I get a moment later on tonight or over the weekend, I'll be able to re-engage, step off from where I am right now and execute on my new bag that I want to make myself. But that wouldn't be possible if I didn't take a moment today to do one small step towards it today, and then put it down and come back to it later. And the pattern is also a metaphor for me that I have a plan. And we have a plan to execute structure that I've created in creativity and creative time. I'll let myself chill out on it. And come back to it again with fresh heart and fresh mind, fresh eyes, all the things. All good things should be done in steps. I know why everybody's out there trying to build houses, and you haven't even bought a block of land or got an architect to do your, it's just the same thing. Or why you're going to apply for home loans when we haven't even done our bank account savings or practiced some good financial behavior. All of that is part of a plan. You have to have a plan first, be disciplined, and then execute after that. Execute the plan into action. Get rid of toxic perfectionism. Not sure where perfectionism came from. Who said you had to do it? Perhaps it's from a culture of trying to make employers happy with us, and headmasters happy with us, and school teachers happy with us, while our kids and the people we love get the scraps of our energy. Stop doing that. Can't do that anymore. Oh, I'm done. I don't know if you can see this. I have a pattern to make myself a tote bag, just like this one, out of matching material to go with my dress, and I'll make sure to take photos and share it with you up in the stories and on the page later today. But I've created myself a plan, a framework, a pattern. Straps, bag, and the inside pocket. I'm one step closer to what I wanted to achieve. Make time and space for yourself to create. I'll see you here on Fridays. Creative Centre Fridays. It's your virtual creative centre with a facilitator and me. We just take time out, creating space for ourselves. And from there, we attach to who we are. And then from there, we can make better decisions. Nō ora.